Good morning, planet Earth. I'm Mango Thunderslice, and you're tuned in to the weekly Anarchist news for September 11th, 2016. Title today is, "It's all a conspiracy, man. They're after us." Yes, so we've got our stories today organized into three general archetypal conspiracies of the world today. The first of which is the conspiracy of stupid, otherwise known as the election theatrics stories. So gotta start with this one. Holy moly. Gary Johnson was on NBC and was asked what to do about Aleppo, being the city in Syria which is kind of the center of this whole refugee crisis. Huge battles taking place all around the city. This World War III type scenario with the Russians, the Americans, the Chinese, the Turks, the Saudis, and the Iranians all converging in this theater of combat of Syria. And you know, this refugee problem threatens to completely destroy the Eurozone, the breakup of the European Union. And Gary Johnson responds like a child asking his dad what a refrigerator is. "And what is Aleppo?" Oh my goodness. Effectively decapitating his campaign. You know, not everyone needs to know where Aleppo is or what Aleppo is. I don't expect everyone to, but I do expect Gary Johnson as a presidential candidate in the United States to know where Aleppo is and not to have to fumble like that when asked a question. I mean, if I can be a better candidate for libertarian president, then that's pretty sad. You know, I don't want to be president. He should be, it just really, from the very beginning, his first answer at the Libertarian Convention is clear that Gary Johnson really just doesn't give a shit. He totally doesn't care. He sounds like an old stoner who just got put in this position and doesn't care about anything. I mean, realistically, any libertarians who are voting in this election should be voting for Donald Trump to avoid Hillary's nuclear war scenario. You know, I will not be voting, but I'm not a fan of nuclear war, and that's all I can say about that. You know, this is the first time that a libertarian candidate has had significant airtime during the election, and Gary responded with an airball. Unbelievable. Moving on, in the conspiracy of stupid, this. Oh, Billy, okay, Brown University is now putting tampons and maxi pads in the men's bathroom. Okay, it says that the student body president said that not just women have menstruation issues. Okay, actually I think that's the definition of being a woman. Okay, so I don't know what else to say about that. There's a point at which the communist nonsense enters a whole new dimension. Diversity apparently means now that men have periods. What planet am I on? Oh my goodness. Alright, continuing on. Hillary continues to prop up her feeble frame with cocaine and lies. Even the full-court media propaganda press can't stop the concerns about her health, which are obvious with the endless coughing fits. 70% of doctors in America, in a new poll, say that Hillary Clinton's health issues are very serious and possibly disqualifying. Ooh. 70% of doctors. I guess it's all just a conspiracy, right, Hillary? And Trump and Clinton both were in a commander-in-chief forum on NBC. And this is where things get a little interesting. NBC went straight for Hillary's jugular. They went after her. I could never expected that. After all of this just fawning over her, all of a sudden Matt Lauer, who was a part of the Clinton Global Initiative, and many expected him to be really, soft, just like the rest of these media stooges to Hillary. And the first thing he does is just rips her about the emails? Where did that come from? And then the first question to get asked her completely destroyed her. I couldn't even believe what I was hearing. Is this really the TV news? That's the first tough question I've heard them ask this woman in the entire campaign, spanning an entire year. So that's interesting. Matt Lauer took a lot of flack for this, and honestly, he did really interrupt her a ton of times. For the first time, I actually felt a little bad for Hillary. Just kept getting interrupted. It's maybe this is the point of the media is turning on Hillary. Maybe something has changed behind the curtain, and all of a sudden they're torpedoing her campaign. It sure seems like there has been a shift in the demeanor lately, and all of a sudden there actually is some legit points of criticism coming at her, and that's, there's got to be an explanation for that somehow. Don't think they're all of a sudden rediscovering journalistic integrity. Yeah, Trump kept up with more of the same themes, the same general kind of words that doesn't really tell anybody anything, but, it's simple language. He plays on emotions and he uses simple language, like he's talking to children. But, since most of Americans are pretty much at a 5th grade reading level anyway, maybe it only makes sense. This is why Trump... People want to call him stupid, they want to call him crazy, but do you really think he talks to his advisors the way he talks to the American people? I would say a definitive no, okay? He's a master at keeping it simple for the stupid, and, I think that he has a lot more complexity, but he doesn't show it because he knows that nobody gives a shit. People can't even read these days. They only want the television reality, and he's giving it to them. So moving on, the smartest decision yet. I don't consider this necessarily to be part of the conspiracy of stupid. I think this is actually a brilliant decision. A Minnesota town, Cormorant, Minnesota, proves that government leadership is completely erroneous and unnecessary by electing a dog as mayor for a 3rd term. The dog walks around town and he's like famous and everybody greets him and he brings a strong sense of unity to the community, and Cormorant, Minnesota has not collapsed. It's doing just fine with a dog as its mayor for a 3rd term. That's just beautiful. Moving on to the next archetypal conspiracy is the conspiracy of greed, otherwise known as the economic fraud and economic collapse stories. First up, Wells Fargo fired 5,300 of its employees after getting caught employing massive fraud throughout the company. Apparently they signed up customers with credit cards without their permission, moved money into new accounts that they created without permission, gave them like overdraft fees and all these other fees and fines, all to boost their own little commissions, which were promoted by Wells Fargo corporate. Fraud at the very top and fraud all the way down. Such is the way of the bank. And in North Dakota, so this is very surprising, okay, North Dakota, the Indians, the Lakota Sioux, all these like multiple tribes are joining up for the first time since like the late 19th century to oppose this pipeline project and stop its construction because it's going through their like sacred burial sites. And, at first the government rubber stamped it, and, so the governor of North Dakota summoned the National Guard, sent in the troops, and a federal district court basically gave the green light to the energy company on Friday, say go ahead and keep building. And to my great surprise, and I'm sure many others' great surprise, the Department of Justice, the feds came in and halted it. They said they issued a stop work order, and so all of a sudden the feds are, maybe it's a political move or something, but basically, yeah, the Department of Justice has halted construction on the Dakota Access Pipeline, effectively handing a victory, at least temporarily, to the Indians and the Native Americans, and that's pretty cool, very surprising. We'll see where that goes. Yes, moving on, a major Korean shipping company named Hanjin, maybe you've seen the shipping containers rolling on semi-trucks, big blue containers that say Hanjin. One of the largest major global shippers went bankrupt, okay? And all their ships are stuck at sea. The crews are like, WTF, bro, like, we've only got so much food and water to hang out on. We're getting a little crazy. So all these ships are stuck at sea. The company went bankrupt. And ultimately, this is just one of the many dominoes to fall in the near future. This fake financial economy is masking the total collapse of the real economy, where people produce things and services, which at this point Wall Street has virtually nothing to do with. The stock market hits all-time highs, and meanwhile, all of us down here beneath the 0.1%, are struggling to make it by. But so yeah, domino number one has fallen with Hanjin going bankrupt. On that note, Trump comes out firing, says that the Federal Reserve and its easy money policy with low interest rates has basically propped up the stock market, which is absolutely true. And he said that it's to make Obama and his presidency look good and, go along with this whole, oh, we're in a recovery narrative. While most Americans are too stupid really to know that the Federal Reserve and its evil screws us all out of all of our savings and basically just siphons all of our wealth and hands it to their own politically connected cronies, Trump is calling it out. Trump doesn't usually mention it because most Americans don't understand this issue and the nuances, but now he's firing at Chairwoman Janet Yellen, who's the head of the Federal Reserve. This is very encouraging. This makes it clear that an audit the Fed passage, Ron Paul's hallmark bill and now championed by his son Rand Paul, this is very likely to pass under a Trump administration, and we can finally bring accountability to the Central Bank of the United States, the creator of infinite war and the warfare welfare state. This is the key to moving forward into the paradise that is our birthright, waiting for us later on in this century if we can just break this institution known as the Federal Reserve. And that brings us into the last conspiracy of today, which is the conspiracy of fear, the greatest of them all. And Rand Paul, going back to him, he is opposing a $1.1 billion arms deal to Saudi Arabia, giving more weapons to the original Islamic State, Saudi Arabia, where if you're gay or get caught saying something bad about Islam, your head's getting chopped off with a sword. Okay. Yes, faithful ally of the West, of course. And they've been using these weapons in a genocidal war campaign in Yemen, which is right there on the Saudi peninsula in the Middle East. And they've just been killing civilians left and right, bombing hospitals. And the United States has been complicit. They've been helping Saudi Arabia do all this. And CNN's Wolf Blitzer goes full retard, says the USA would lose jobs if we didn't give this tyrannical, murderous regime more weapons with which to massacre the people of the world. We can't stop arming the murderous villains of the world because we might lose 0.25% of our GDP of the military-industrial complex. Oh no. Oh my goodness. Can you believe this? And on that similar note, the U.S. House of Representatives passes the bill allowing 9/11 victim families to sue Saudi Arabia. Technically, the bill just allows citizens to sue foreign governments, for crimes like this. After the 28 pages got released, covered that in a previous video. The media says, the 28 pages don't say anything. In reality, anybody who reads the 28 pages sees that it's pretty much unequivocal proof that high-level Saudi officials, Prince Bandar, was bankrolling the hijackers. I mean, it's proof that the Saudis were involved. And so now the Senate already passed it, now the House has passed it. American citizens can sue Saudi Arabia for its involvement in 9/11. Huge development. Obama, now Obama gets to show if he's a Muslim or not. Honestly, when he first took office, I thought, like most other people, this whole Muslim thing was just a wild conspiracy. But after seeing the shit that this guy has done as president, I gotta wonder, man. He's received a medal from the King of Saudi Arabia. He's just seems to favor American Muslims more than American Christians. It's very interesting. Obama says people would sue the USA for its own terrorist crimes under the wording of this legislation, and I say good. Okay, the terrorist crimes. The United States should be held accountable, as should Israel, Saudi Arabia, Turkey. All these murderous regimes should be held accountable. And so we'll see where that goes. If Obama vetoes it, effectively telling the people of America that he doesn't give a shit about them and he cares more about the King of Saudi Arabia than he does the American people, that'll be interesting, especially if Congress goes ahead and overrides the veto and says, yeah, we're going to do it anyway. So that's interesting. Moving on, the physics journal in Europe, Europhysics, publishes an article by the 9/11 engineers and architects for truth. Very key development. Media stooges who claim to know more about physics than architects and engineers are denying, all this. They have for the last 15 years. Yet the story still creeps from the seams in their illusory, worldview. A full 50% of Americans now doubt the 9/11 official story. That's very encouraging. Sticking with the whole conspiracy world, 62% of Americans believe that there was a larger plot in the assassination of John F. Kennedy in 1963. Many haven't had time at this point to see the discrepancies with the recent attacks, like in places like Nice, France, and San Bernardino and Orlando, Florida. But the internet is making it easier all the time to see how these things are scripted, and if not entirely faked, then at least very much manipulated to suit this narrative that they're creating in order to lead the people of this world into a third world war scenario to consolidate their own power. All of these things are tied together. The parasites who killed Kennedy now are scrambling to protect their flailing imperial structure. Kennedy wanted to smash the CIA into a million pieces. He wanted to change the currency of the United States to something backed by silver and something that would actually be issued by the United States for the benefit of the American people instead of the benefit of an elite banker class. And they killed him. But now, these people have been in control of the United States ever since, and now they're struggling to keep everything under wraps. He wanted to smash the CIA so it wouldn't become the raging tyrannical machine that it is today. Now Europe is threatened with possible false flag attacks. Germany is telling its citizens to start prepping for disaster scenarios. It's mustering military forces within the country. And the only thing we can really do to prevent this World War III scenario is to keep speaking the truth, okay? And, on that note, I will be posting this video, of course, on YouTube as I usually do, but also Steam It. I want to mention this is a new social media platform on the foundation of the blockchain, like Facebook mixed with Bitcoin. Okay, it's called Steam It, STEEMIT. For those who want to, use the benefits of a social media platform, but who aren't interested in the outright fascist censorship of Facebook, I myself got banned from Facebook over a year ago, and I'm having a great time with Steam It so far. I think it's a wonderful platform, something you should definitely check out. Yeah, that's it for the week. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Keep speaking the truth, keep loving each other, having a great time in life. Remember to laugh, remember to love, and we will reach paradise together. Wholeness and balanced vibrations. Have a great week, everybody. Cheers.